Yeah, that pretty much summarizes it, guys. This wasn't good. So I did recently watch Night Swim. It is a movie by Blumhouse. A movie, I guess you could say. It is one of the first horror movies of the year, if not the first big theatrical release. I didn't see the full-length trailer before going to see this. I watched the little teaser trailer, the Marco Polo trailer is kind of how I'll say it, and it got me interested. And the premise was pretty solid sounding. I mean, it's demonic pool or haunted pool. It's really only so much you can do with it, but ultimately that's kind of where some of my issues lied. I had some fun with this. Some of the cinematography, some of the camera work, some of the way that things were just shot were really, really good. Like very experimental to some degree, like a few seconds here and there that really just pulled me back in repetitively. But ultimately, this movie, it just really did not hit for me personally. I really didn't have a good time with this movie. It was very predictable. It was very annoying at points, honestly. It was so tedious. I really think you could have cut about a good 15 minutes of this movie out and still got the same result and still given it the score that I'm going to give it. It didn't have a lot of redeemable factors. Again, the cinematography, there was some great underwater camera work done here. Some absolutely awesome visuals. And sometimes the score just sounded awesome. And that's pretty much about what I have to say that's good about this movie. And I usually try to find the most fun out of some of the worst movies out there. I wouldn't say I like to watch bad movies like The Room. Like, I'm not that type of moviegoer, but I'll watch a movie that looks like they used a potato and sliced it up and then, rationed it out and that was their budget. I love those types of movies. But this feels like a much polished version of something like that, just come to screen with no actual creativity or proper direction taken in really many regards. So now that I've kind of prefaced that, what this movie is kind of about is a little bit more than a demonic or haunted pool. So you follow, I already forgot his name, Wyatt Russell, fantastic actor, probably familiar with him as U.S. Agent out of the Falcon Winter Soldier Disney Plus Marvel series. He is fantastic, fantastic. He kills this role. But he plays a baseball player that was diagnosed with MS, and it's kind of halted his baseball career. And so he's kind of told, like, while they're house hunting and stuff like that, they check out this house that has a pool, and they told him that it would be good for like his therapy. To, instead of advancing, it can slow down more with more physical activity that is more appropriate for how do you say this, for his exercise level that he really needs to kind of stick to. So so after that, that's really the most coherent thing that really happens here, right? Some of the, as it advances, because I really don't want to get into too much spoilers since this did just drop, there might be some scene spoilers here and there with the way I describe things. But as it really starts going, the pool is helping him, right? And so the family starts noticing some weird stuff with this pool. They all kind of have very similar yet kind of different experiences with the pool. And it made for some very interesting, again, I cannot say how some of the shots done in this were very interesting. Some of the cinematography here was actually done pretty well, and it pulled me back in all the times I was getting really bored. But that can't save this whole movie, unfortunately. That really can't. Acting was solid. There's just some weird parts, it really just a drag on time, and just some character building that really just didn't make me care in any way, shape, or form, right? They really try to get you to care about these characters when in reality, you just kind of don't. You really don't. I really could have cared less with what happens to some of the family members. I did care about Wyatt Russell's character, which he's not the main focal point, but he's one of the biggest ones for sure. And that was definitely one of the more captivating parts of it. Again, some of the pool scenes with some like an eerie, scratchy score, it just sounded so abstract and experimental, and I was all here for it. That was really, really cool, really, really fun. But other than that, again, I can't say enough. That can't save the movie. You got to have at least something decent going on. If you're gonna have something as generic as here's a haunted pool, you got to do something a little bit different, right? Okay, you have a haunted pool, but what is the haunted pool doing? And they just never really fully dive into that. They try their best. You know, sometimes whenever things are left mysterious, it works out really, really well. And that's cool. But in this aspect, it just didn't, right? Because how it worked, how it functioned probably would have been one of the biggest saving graces. But my biggest complaint with this, my biggest complaint is how goofy, whatever you want to call them, the pool monsters, the whatever, they just look so goofy. There's some times that they really try to jump scare, and I've been on record before on the Exorcist Believer podcast episode where cheap jump scares will piss me off super fast. It just doesn't work. We're past that era of just loud sound, oh, we scary, you know. It's just, it do something actually good, you know what I mean? And it has a couple of times like that, like it's just whenever they try to jump scare you with the pool people, the pool demons, the whatever it is, it just doesn't work. It just really doesn't, and it doesn't work at all. The practical effects are really goofy. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. The story is incoherent, and I always try to find some super fun out of everything. Again, Wyatt Russell cannot give enough praise to his performance here. Absolutely excellent actor. The score, the cinematography, thumbs up on that department. The story, 2 thumbs down. It just really, really didn't captivate me in any way. And again, like I said, I'm not going to go into spoilers, but the ending just really, really irritated me. It just actually pissed me off. Like, it just was not good. So there's a very pivotal scene in this movie where after the pool starts doing its things, one of the family members goes to find the former owners of the house and has a conversation. And she says a line that's love is sacrifice, right? And again, mild spoilers, but not really. It says love is sacrifice, and that becomes like very important towards the end, but it makes no sense how it works. Like, the ending for this was just so unsatisfying, which, you know, if you're a horror fan out there's some movies, right? Like, recently in my top 10 movies streaming on Tubi video that I did, I shouted out House of the Devil. I love that movie. That movie is probably one of the most boring movies that somebody can watch to other people, but then I like slow burn whenever it has a great payoff that can make or break a really good or really bad movie. The first however many acts can be really slow, very not paced well, but then a balls to the wall third act that really gets you in and really gets you going can absolutely be the saving grace of a great film. And I really think that's what House of the Devil does super, super well. And that's really what I was wanting out of Night Swim, but I didn't get it because I figured there'd be some last 5-10 minute hurrah, some type of really cool reveal, something along those lines, and we just don't get jack shit. We just don't. And it's just, nah. This movie's going to get a pretty hard pass. If you're actually curious about it, I would say wait for a stream, wait for it to be on rent, wait for it to get dumped on a streaming service. It's just, I hope we're in for a good ride with horror, because I was kind of anticipating something kind of surprising me, because Megan came out around this time last year, and it was still one of my biggest surprises. I wasn't expecting that movie to be good, and it was really good. I had a great time with it, and it's because my expectations were low, just like with this, and I still walked away disappointed with Night Swim. I'm going to give this one a hard pass, and my official score is a 4 out of 10. I just really can't recommend it much. If you really like good camera work and you like really, really solid scores, that's definitely here, but again, it's so cilantroed in, as I like to say, it's just kind of spiced in there with a good score. And the cinematography, it's not going to be revolutionary where this movie's going to be like, wow, some great camera work, can't wait to see what this person does next. I really do wish this movie success, and I really do wish that it does well, because it is a really cool idea that I think a proper sequel, almost Ouija style, if a sequel gets in the hands of somebody really good, like Mike Flanagan getting a hold of a sequel in that realm of the Ouija universe, something like this, I think there's a really solid idea there that can really be built on. But other than that, again, 4 out of 10, thumbs down. Really don't have much else to say. So that's going to be my review of Night Swim. Thank you guys so much again for joining us for yet another From Screen to Shelf review. We'll see you next time.